how I would be elated if Tucker Carlson went to jail with his sorry American-hating self. But I really want to know, is this a hoax? Is he, Tucker Smollett, trying to deploy this victim mentality so we can feel sorry for him for being stupid enough to interview all of these weirdos, being dumb enough to get caught in Israel lying about his experience at the airport? Come on, bro.
So the other day I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report, to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well, talking to people in Iran before the war.
Tucker Carlson is a disgrace to America. Tucker Carlson is a disgrace to journalists all around the country. He's not even a real journalist. He's fell off the cliff. I'm telling you guys, and I will say this again, every single person that goes and has Israel derangement syndrome, they tend to go crazy in every other aspect of their lives. Whether it's conspiracies, whether you name it, they losing it. And Tucker is the prime person in this. As big and most expansive as his platform is and was, why is he acting like this? Let me just give you an example. I guess he's potentially in trouble with the CIA. Now I'm gonna tell you this. Just like these other influencers that are hoodwinking you, of course they're gonna come out and say these things to become relevant again. Once they look stupid by faking a TSA disaster in Israel, acting as if they had him in the back room strip searching him, and that became a lie. He do nothing to interview idiots every time he puts somebody on because they hate Israel. Now he gotta be the victim. The CIA is after me. Is it real? Is it true? CIA, DOJ, I never heard anything from them. Could he be making this up? I wouldn't be shocked. Roll the clip.
So the other day I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me.
Before he continues, my question I have for him is, how did you find this out? I want you to go to patriotmobile.com/Tatum and make the switch today. Let me tell you why. Patriot Mobile isn't just another mobile phone company. They're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider fighting for the values that you and I believe in. I know you might be worried about switching. Don't be. All cell phone carriers use the same towers, but only Patriot Mobile works on all three major networks. So if you like your current carrier service, you can pick that one through Patriot Mobile. This means that you'll get the same or better priority nationwide coverage. The difference is what they do with your hard-earned money. Patriot Mobile takes a portion of your bill and donates to causes supporting the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the sanctity of life, and our veterans and first responders. They aren't purely talking. They live their values and aren't afraid to say what those values are. Switching is easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or you can upgrade. Their 100% US-based customer service support team will help you find the perfect plan. Go to patriotmobile.com/Tatum or call 972-PATRIOT. Use my promo code Tatum and get a free month of service today. Join Patriot Mobile and defend freedom with every call you make. That's patriotmobile.com/Tatum or call 972-PATRIOT. How did you find this out? All right, roll the clip.
Crime report to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well, talking to people in Iran before the war. They read my texts. So the crime under consideration apparently would be the Foreign Agent Act or something like that, acting as an agent of a foreign power. And I don't expect this to go anywhere. I'm not too worried about an actual criminal case against me for a bunch of reasons. One, I'm not an agent of a foreign power. Unlike a lot of people commenting on U.S. politics and global affairs, I have only one loyalty, and that's the United States, and have never acted against it. Its interests are the only interests I care about because I'm from here and I have a lot of kids.
Time out. Shut your lying self up. I'm going to let him finish. I promise you lying. It's funny how he say he's not a foreign acting agent, and neither is AIPAC. But it's funny that you continue to push that every single day of the week, that AIPAC is somehow acting as a foreign agent, which they're not. That's why they're not registered in FARA. Anyway, finish the clip.
So that's not a concern. I've also never taken money from anybody. Don't need it, don't want it, and that's provable. And moreover,
you know, let me tell y'all something real quick. I swear I'm gonna stop talking, but it's If I wait to the end of the clip, I'm going to forget it. He said he hasn't taken money from anywhere. He literally got like a $17 or $14 million startup investment into his Tucker Carlson news network. From a person, I guess the person he's a Middle Eastern. He may be an American citizen, but it's still. He's in Doha and Qatar doing speeches on stage. Like, let me tell you how people get around that claim. I've never taken money. Yeah, Tucker Carlson have not taken money, but that does not mean TCN haven't taken money. I want y'all to be very clear about this. Somebody could look at you in the eye and say, I never taken any money, but an organization that you own takes the money. No one in our industry gets paid directly. People do not pay Brandon Tatum. They don't pay me. They pay one of my companies, my entities. They pay the Officer Tatum if I'm doing work for the Officer Tatum or any of these other companies. They pay the company. They don't pay Brandon Tatum. I don't own none of this stuff. I have companies that own the companies, if that makes sense to you. That's how these fools can get away with saying that, even though they know they took money from these foreign governments. Roll the clip.
It's my job to talk to everybody all the time and try and figure out what's happening around the world. That's literally what I do for a living, and I'm not going to stop doing that. Nor should I don't think. I'm also an American. I can talk to anybody. I have no secrets to divulge. So legally, I think the case is ludicrous, and I doubt it'll even become a case. I'm bringing this up for a couple of reasons, though, and they're pretty obvious. One is that countries tend to become more authoritarian in wartime. It's just the nature of war. People are dying. The stakes are high. People's emotions have risen to a very high point, to a crescendo. And so there's much less tolerance for any kind of dissent in the homeland. The irony, of course, is the United States.
Time out. He going to hell. He going to hell if he don't change his life. This is one of the most manipulative people that I've ever seen in my life. This fool says, it's okay to talk to people. I can talk to anybody. That's not the problem. It's not against the law. Nobody would care if you were just talking to anybody. Well, during wartime, dissent. It's not about dissent. Fool, you're talking to people that we're at war with, that we have sanctions with. They're an adversary to the United States of America, and they want to kill us, and we end up going to war with them, and you were talking to leaders and people in the country before we went to war, Tucker. You're not gaslighting smart people. If I was somehow talking to, I don't know, talking to somebody in Afghanistan, leadership, I've interviewed the president. And then I'm talking to them before the war instigated. Of course, the government is going to check and make sure that I'm not doing nothing nefarious, especially Tucker Carlson, who's a traitor to America. He hates America. He does. Roll it.
Fights wars on behalf of freedom, but there's always less of it here in our country during war. So that's a widely recognized phenomenon, and it's likely to happen now too. Another point to make that is worth knowing is that the USIC, the intelligence agency, spy on Americans. Now, you probably knew that, and it's been revealed a lot, including by Julian Assange and Ed Snowden, both of whom are threatened with death for revealing it, but everyone knows.
Spying on Americans. It's funny that they make it out to be a pejorative or something that's... Sometimes Americans get radicalized. Just like the nut jobs that we've seen in the last several days that are killing people in the name of Allah Akbar. At some point, if Americans are doing suspicious communications with people or they're being radicalized by Islamic terrorists, I think it's fair to say maybe we do need to monitor them. I'm telling you guys this. The only reason why we haven't just gotten taken over and terrorist attacks are happening every single day in this country is because our intelligence agencies are monitoring and intercepting people who want to kill us. And that's including American citizens who are radicalized. Roll the clip.
But it's probably a little more widespread than most people understand. And it's outrageous. There's no justification for your government, which you own, you're a shareholder in it, you pay for it, to be violating your privacy like this. But it happens all the time. And in fact, one of the reasons that CIA or people within CIA, just to be clear, it's a huge, sprawling, disconnected agency, what it does in a specific case doesn't represent what everybody in the building thinks, but there are some people who are mad at me for my views about Israel, and they have some latitude. And one of the reasons they pass on criminal complaints, in effect, to law enforcement is to justify warrants for spying on Americans. So that is an absolutely real thing. But the main reason they do it is to leak the existence of the investigation, such as it is, to the media, and then humiliate and terrify the subjects of this op. And that's, of course, happened to me repeatedly, many times, including in famously 2021 when I was still at Fox News and trying to set up an interview with Vladimir Putin. And the NSA, I heard from someone there, had grabbed my text messages with an American citizen and had leaked them to news outlets. Those texts were basically my attempts to set up an interview with the foreign head of state, and they leaked them to the New York Times in order to stop the interview, which they successfully did, by the way. And they admitted that they were spying on me. This is not a fantasy. It actually happened. They did it again 2 years later. My second attempt to get a Putin interview, I managed to get it anyway, and they've done it since. And so when you get a call from a reporter who knows the contents of your texts, it's pretty clear something's going on. None of this, in my judgment as of right now, is a huge threat to me, so I'm not making this video to complain about it or whine or ask you to send me money because I'm under attack. I'm saying it because it's true, and you should know what your own government is doing, and you should know what the stakes are. And you should know that a lot of what happens in this country that affects outcomes happens behind the scenes. Some of it is legal, some of it is not, including what I'm describing now. But it has an effect. And the intel agencies, again, not everyone in the intel agencies.
All right. I'm tired of this guy. He's just talking out his rear end. I mean, I don't think that the government should be unjustifiably monitoring people's communications. But if you ain't doing nothing wrong in your communications, what are they leaking? If they're going to leak something, like for instance, they leaked that he was bashing Donald Trump, saying that he hates Donald Trump. Like that's a pretty significant thing when you're on television every day saying you love Trump and you're saying all these things, but then on your personal text message, you're saying you hate Donald Trump. I'm not saying it's right that they leaked this information, but what I'm saying is that was pretty revealing. I wonder what they know about him talking to these foreign governments, which he know the only thing that he could be even contested for is the Federal Agent Registration Act, which means that you're working on behalf of a foreign government, lobbying, influencing policy or spreading messages for a foreign government or receiving money or directions from a foreign government. He know that that's what they're looking into. And that's a criminal case. But if you're not registered as FARA, that's not really significant enough to put you in prison. It's just a technicality. All right, I want to go to Ted Cruz real quick associated with this. There was another young dude that I wanted to play his clip, but it's more of like a sentiment of how I feel. Let's play Ted Cruz clip because I think Ted Cruz hit the nail on the head when it comes to Tucker. Because Tucker and others like him, it all starts from hating Israel, and they just lose their minds. Roll the clip.
It's not just that every podcast he has, he's attacking Israel, he's attacking Jews. Jews are the source of everything wrong. Every problem we have in America came from the Jews, according to him. It's not just that. Look, anti-Semitism is a gateway to anti-capitalism and anti-Americanism. And so Tucker is also, he interviewed the president of Iran. And it was a softball interview. He asked him no hard questions. This is the same president of Iran actively trying to murder Donald Trump. Tucker didn't ask him about that. Tucker has praised Nicolas Maduro, the communist dictator of Venezuela, who we just arrested. He's praised Comrade Mondami, the communist and Islamist mayor in New York. Tucker has said he thinks we should apologize to the family of Osama bin Laden. I don't think we should apologize. Osama bin Laden murdered nearly 3,000 Americans on 9/11. I am very glad the military took him out. That's the military's job, to protect our nation. Tucker has said he doesn't know that Hamas is a terrorist organization. He thinks they might just be a political movement. Right now, I'll tell you something amazing, David. The Iranian TV is playing Tucker's podcast in Iran. The Ayatollah and the mullahs have said, ooh, you need to listen to this guy. The Muslim Brotherhood is pushing Tucker's broadcasts out on social media. The Muslim Brotherhood is a terrorist organization. To be clear, Hamas is the Muslim Brotherhood in Palestine. They've looked at what Tucker said and said, this is exactly what we believe. That is dangerous. And I got to say, part of the challenge is a lot of folks remember Tucker from when he was on Fox a few years ago. And he wasn't all crazy and out there. On Fox, he was terrific. I actually think during the COVID lockdowns, his monologues were the single best thing on television. I mean, they were destination TV. And so there's a little bit of a disconnect, and it's also interesting. There's a generational problem. People who are older, they remember Tucker from Fox, and they're like, oh, I like that guy. He had good things to say. They're not online hearing him attack President Trump every single day. And to be clear, Tucker Carlson is waging a war online against President Trump's foreign policy. Now, he's too much of a chicken to call Trump out by name, so instead he attacks me and Mike Huckabee, who are supporting President Trump's foreign policy. But Tucker doesn't have the courage to actually admit that it's Trump he's attacking.
I think we're done with that clip. But, you know, that's the thing about Tucker. It's like he's going out and he's bashing Donald Trump to crazy degrees. And when he used to love Donald Trump and kiss his butt every day, maybe he never loved Donald Trump. But then he goes out and literally calls Donald Trump a traitor every single day of the week. I don't understand that guy. Trump has done nothing wrong but do what he said he was going to do. Every president since Barack Obama has said Iran was the biggest threat. Barack Obama drew a line in the sand. Iran crossed the line in the sand and said, F you, you coward, and he capitulated. It's stupid to me. All right, let's get to the TSA shutdowns because this has been crazy too because I have to travel, and it's really making me upset because it's the Democrats that are doing this. And they're trying to create as much chaos as possible to make Donald Trump look bad before the midterms. They would really rather ruin the country to make Trump look bad than to try to work with the guy to make sure to hold him accountable to doing what's right for us so we all win.